Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. Today we are talking about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Show them who we are.
So Black Panther, Wakanda Forever is the follow-up to the smash hit original film. Here we see Wakanda defending their home from outside forces while also mourning the death of T'Challa. And once again, this film was directed by Ryan Coogler. And first off, to start this review, I just can't imagine how tough it was to put this movie together. From what I had heard, that Coogler originally had a script ready to go with Chadwick Boseman in the film. And then obviously we had the unfortunate passing of Chadwick. And so things had to get all redone. You had the pandemic. So there was a lot of things working against this movie. And for this to still be able to come out and be as good as it is, I think is a true testament to Ryan Coogler and the rest of the cast as well. So hats off to them. And going into Wakanda Forever, one of the big debates was that whether they should cast or recast the role of T'Challa in these movies. And now obviously everyone is going to have their opinion as far as that goes, but for me personally, I think they did a really good job of handling the passing of Chadwick Boseman in this movie. One of the other things that really worked for me in this movie was just the level of emotion that you got right from the beginning of the film, and it was carried throughout. I thought that they handled that really well. The opening, the Marvel intro that they do, they changed that up a bit. I won't go into specifics just so you guys can see it if you haven't already. But I thought that was done beautifully. For me in my theater that I was at, I saw it in IMAX screening and it was dead silent. You could hear a pin drop when they were doing that intro. I thought that was really nicely done. And then later on, kind of towards the end of the movie, there's a moment where Shuri's having flashbacks of talking and seeing her brother. And again, it was just completely silent. Both of those gave me chills watching those. And you really got the sense that both the audience and the actors in this movie were kind of going through the grieving process at almost at the same time as you're watching these characters, grieve the loss of their king in the movie. Because we had the loss of the character of T'Challa, of Black Panther, but these actors, they were dealing with the loss of their fellow actor as well as their best friend too. And for me personally, I really love the introduction of some new characters and new worlds that we got in this movie, specifically Namor and Talokan, and then the introduction of RiRi Williams in this film as well. I thought Namor really worked as a villain because he's trying to protect his people and his world. Granted, he doesn't maybe go about it in the best way, but I think that's what makes him a good villain because you can understand what he's trying to do. He's just maybe not handling it in the best way. So I really liked him. Tena Cuerta, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I apologize if I am, but I think that he gave an excellent performance as Namor. So I was really excited to see that character show up in this film. And Talokan, from what we got to see of it in this movie, I thought that absolutely looked gorgeous. And its citizens, I thought, were really cool. I definitely want to learn more about them, hopefully more as we get more into the MCU. But there is one scene with them early on in the movie that involves a boat, and just where it takes place at night, I actually thought it was pretty creepy, and just with the score that was going on as well, it was pretty intense, so that was really well done. But yeah, I loved the characters. One of the other main characters of Talokan is Namor. Her design I thought was beautiful, so just all of that stuff I thought was really well done. So it was cool to see we saw like Wakanda, but getting to explore another big nation like Talokan as well was exciting to see. And as far as the character of Ironheart goes, so she is introduced in this movie and she is played by Dominique Thorne. So I actually discovered Dominique Thorne in Judas and the Black Messiah. Her role in there, it's a little bit smaller, but from her performance there, I was excited to see what she was going to bring to this character. I wasn't really super familiar with the character of Ironheart. I'm actually currently reading some of her comics right now, but from what I saw in the film, I thought she was a really likable character, had some really funny jokes back and forth with some of the cast members, but it was good, comedic timing. And just like her energy that she brought to the character, I don't know, for me personally, I thought she did a great job. And it's funny because I see a lot of people, and slight spoilers, maybe if you haven't already seen this, but I believe you do see some of this like in the trailers. But there's a lot of people giving shit about the design of one of her suits in the movie, which is granted it's only her second suit, so I kind of expected it's not going to look like the greatest thing ever. But literally in the comics, they joke about her suit quite a bit. So I find that kind of funny. Her character is getting shit on for having a crappy design for her second suit, but that's something that they joke about in the comics quite a bit. So they probably took that right from there. So just something that I thought I would point out as I'm reading those books right now. But yeah, I mean, overall, as far as I thought how she was introduced and how she was used in this story made complete sense. Like, even if she was added on later because she does have a Disney Plus show coming up, this next year or the following year. I believe it's this next year. But even though she was probably put in because of that show, I thought the way that they integrated her into this movie made complete sense. And to me, yeah, some people are saying that, she didn't need to be in the film, but for me, it made sense. It didn't feel forced to me, but hey, that's just my opinion. And with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, that meant a lot of the other characters in the movie had to step up this time around. And I thought that they all delivered. You had characters like Okoye, Nakia, and M'Baku, but specifically Angela Bassett, who plays Ramonda, and then Letitia Wright, who plays Shuri in the film. I thought those two gave excellent performances, but everyone just all around really stepped up and delivered. When you lose your main character, it's just so tough to follow that up, because a lot of times you have these secondary characters trying to step up, and they just weren't meant to carry a film like that. But I thought that everyone did their part in this movie and really elevated the film. So one of my biggest issues with Thor Love and Thunder, and some other people have mentioned this in other projects in the rest of Marvel Phase 4, is that specifically for me with Thor Love and Thunder, it got a little too jokey at times. Like, granted, I don't mind having comedy in there. If it works, the timing is right, hey, that is totally fine. But for me, there was several moments throughout the film in Thor Love and Thunder where I felt that it should have been a little bit more serious, because they were dealing with some stuff that you really needed to have it a little bit more of a serious tone. And every time you throw a joke in there, it just kind of undercut that. So this movie, I feel like they handled that a lot better. There is definitely some comedy mixed in, but I think that the timing that they have those jokes is planned and a lot better than it is in, for example, for Thor Love and Thunder. So I think you definitely have some jokes that work really well, but when the film needs to be serious, because obviously just with everything, all the events surrounding this movie, the film is serious, which I really appreciated. And I do have to watch the original film because it has been a little while since I've seen the original Black Panther, but I think as of right now, I'm going to say that I actually like Black Panther Wakanda Forever a little bit more than I like the original film. So as far as the score goes, I'm going to give this an 8.7 out of 10. Definitely something that I'm going to be checking out again. So many things that I liked about it. Some really great scenes. Again, we got introduced to some new characters, new worlds. So I'm excited to see where these things are how they're going to progress the MCU and where they're going to show up in the future. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Do you like this film more than the original film? Do you like the original film more still? I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. If you do use any spoilers, just make sure you let people know down below in the comments. I know it's past opening weekend, so a good chunk of people probably have had a chance to see it already, but if they haven't, I just want to make sure everyone has a fair chance and nothing gets spoiled for them. So again, just give that warning. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the film down below in the comments, and also where, as far as the Phase 4 goes, because now we are like officially wrapped up with that basically, where do you rank Black Panther Wakanda Forever out of all of those films? Let me know down below in the comments. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button next to it. That way you get notifications for all my new videos. Give this video a thumbs up. And as always, guys, please make sure to check back for more Pop Culture with Pat.